Hello, this is the Watchdog, and welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. Today we're going to review the Dwayne Campbell 5041. Let's start with the wrist check. I'm wearing the Steel Dive Captain Willard, and Grego is wearing my Smil 8007. Grego said that Lando was quite upset. He agreed to donate his 300,000 credit AP Royal Oak to a charity auction, and when he showed up at Coruscant with the watch, a customs official demanded that he pay 5% import tax. When Princess Leia ripped the agent a new one, he said, "Sorry, I thought he was a space pirate and I was shaking his booty." Alright, let's take a look at the watch. It comes in this felt-covered box, and the box is rather small. It's kind of just big enough to fit the watch. In fact, the box is so small you can't even fit the warranty card in it. But anyway, see? But it does come on this pillow. And I guess the nice part is it keeps it light. So maybe when I sell this, I might be able to ship it for $4 instead of $5.25. But here is the watch. This is the first Dwayne Campbell on my channel. I just started noticing them a couple weeks ago, and they look like a solid steel NH35 powered homage watches of the Pagani design, Caddis, and price range. So I figured I'd do my viewers a solid and check them out. AliExpress is starting to put the Express into Ali, and I got the watch 10 days later. This is an homage to Patek Philippe 5711 Nautilus. I decided that it is okay to say Nautilus because all I am saying is that the watch looks quite a bit like a Nautilus, and I am not saying it is a Nautilus, nor is the watch claiming it is a Nautilus. The Nautilus trademark means no one else can manufacture and sell watches that they call a Nautilus. It doesn't mean you can't ever say the word. I am a watch reviewer and not a watch manufacturer. It is a legitimate function of a review to compare a watch to more established models. I do this as a hobby and to share my enjoyment of watches, and if YouTube shuts me down, then I will simply move over to TikTok or wherever. If TikTok shuts me down, I will just sell all my watches, buy that Pelagos, call it quits, and play more video games. The watch comes in 6 colorways, including blue, white, black, green, ice blue, and coffee. If you look at the shade of green, it is quite a bit different than the green of the coveted green 5711. I think the coffee is an interesting color because of the gradient dial. I stuck with the blue because that's what I do. The watch is 39.5 millimeters if you measure at the flats of the bezel, but 43.4 if you measure from ear to crown guard. It's 48 millimeters lug to lug, and it's only 11 millimeters thick, so it's pretty thin for an automatic. And weighs 148 grams on the supplied metal bracelet with 2 links removed. The bezel is clearly Nautilus style. We have this vertical brushed top that's supposed to look like a porthole, and then we have the polished sides. And then we have the dial. The dial is the teak dial with a sunburst effect. We have the Dwayne Campbell name up top, but not the logo. Their logo is just DC, but they didn't put it on the watch. And then on the bottom it says automatic. No mention of water resistance. If you look at the AliExpress ad, we have some conflicting information about the water resistance. Part of the ad says 100 meters. But the other part says 50 meters. So I don't know. But either one should be good enough to swim with, supposedly. And it looks like you do have a screw down case back and a screw down crown. But I guess on the side of caution, you probably should just assume 50. And then we have the baton loomed indices with a double up top. And then we have the stick hands, or I guess they're fence post hands, not stick hands. Then we have a date at the 3 with a border. And then, of course, we have minute markers. The crown is an unsigned screw down. The thread action seems fine, pops nicely when you unscrew it. Then when you go to screw it back down, it seems to catch right away. The crown is a little small though, but this is not a dive watch. So yeah, I wish the crown was a bit bigger. And then we do have crown guards with a significant guarding of the crown. Then we have a flat sapphire crystal. Just to be sure, I tested it, and it is sapphire. And then we have the case. Some of these Nautilus homages just have a solid ear here, but this one has a actual two-piece ear similar to the real watch. And they do that with the crown guards too. So this does look more like the real thing than a lot of them do. And the case is brushed everywhere with a chamfered polished edge. And it's brushed on the bottoms. The case is nice. I like the case. I think they did a good job with it. It does make it look a lot like a Nautilus. We have a screw down display case back. As you can see, you have notches for the wrench. So it's not a coin edge, so that's nice. But there's no writing on it at all. So there's not much to it other than just being a screw down display case back. Underneath the case back is the NH35 movement. This is a 24 joule 3 hertz movement that hand winds hacks, has about a 40-hour power reserve, and is usually fairly accurate right off the shelf. But I'm sure at this price range, they're probably not regulated at the factory when they put these together, so your mileage may vary. So let's see how this one's doing on the Timegrapher. Here's the watch on the Timegrapher. Looks like we're running about 7, 8, 10 seconds fast. Amplitude's pretty low, and we got quite a bit of beat error. The beat error is why you see 2 lines on the screen. So yeah, I've seen them run a lot better than this, but this isn't horrible. 8 seconds isn't bad, and at least it's fast and not slow, because this is the hacking movement. If you want to adjust it to match time, all you have to do is hack it and wait for time to catch up. The bracelet is solid steel, and it's a true H-link. It's not one of them fake H-links like I've seen on a lot of cheaper watches. Then if you look at the edges here, they're polished. The links are brushed, but the edges here are polished, and the center links are polished. And look at this though, there's not a lot of flexibility here. So this doesn't really contour to the wrist very well. And I thought that was just the reality of a bracelet like this, but people told me that the nicer watches flex a lot better. So I don't know. But this one does not flex very well. And then we have the clasp. The clasp is a friction butterfly clasp, not a push button. And it has this little fold over. And this is what Patek used to do with the Nautilus, but supposedly I did a little research, and Patek has modernized the Nautilus lineup, and they use push buttons now. And I wish these homage companies would start using push buttons. They're a lot easier than this friction fold over stuff. So I don't like the clasp. Then we have push pins, not screw pins. I'm fine with that. Thing is though, they didn't put little arrows to tell you which way to push them, so you have to just look and see where the heads are so you know which way to push them out. Here's the watch on my 7.5-inch wrist. It looks nice, it wears nice. It is a fairly thin watch for an NH35 powered automatic. But once again, this bracelet really doesn't contour to the wrist very well, because it's not very flexible. And I only removed 2 links to fit on my wrist, so 8 inches is probably the best you're going to do without extra links. But it is a nice looking watch. I do like that deep blue dial. Here we are in the Lume room, just wearing the watch for review purposes. I really don't have any reason to expect anything good from this Dwayne Campbell. As we speed up the time, we see the hands are already gone. That is some of the worst hand loom I've ever seen. I bet that sand I reviewed last time would beat it. The indices aren't horrible, but who cares? What do I like about this watch? Well, it looks a lot like a Nautilus, and so if that's what you want, this sure looks like one. I like the fact that it has a true H-link bracelet and not one of them fake ones. And I do like this nice deep blue teak dial. What are my gripes and groans? Patek has modernized the class, so I wish these homage companies would too. H-link bracelet here is pretty stiff, not very flexible. Doesn't contour to the wrist very well. And the hand loom is just plain horrible. It's a complete joke. Do I recommend this watch? Sure, as long as you don't care about the loom. This watch does look a lot like a 5711 and doesn't cost a ton of money and does come with an NH35 movement. Well, thank you for watching my review of the Dwayne Campbell 5041. And I will be back with the unboxing. Got some more stuff from AliExpress the other day. Be sure and like and subscribe to my channel. And if you like this watch, be sure to click on my affiliate link to buy it. And I might get a tiny commission, which I can use to help buy better watches for this channel. Bye.